Let's see if we can summarize what we've learned about adding and subtracting negative integers. If this was positive 3, the calculation would be simply positive 5 add 3. Positive 8. Okay, so when I add negative 3, it's like subtracting 3 away from positive 5. Positive 2. Subtracting a positive integer, that's just subtraction. Negative 4, take another one, must be negative 5. Subtracting a negative integer. Subtracting a negative integer gives the same result as adding a positive one. Negative 2, add 3 is positive 1. Fantastic! So when you have two signs next to each other in an addition or subtraction, you can simplify them like this. We've worked out how to add and subtract integers. Next comes integer multiplication and division. For example, negative 2 multiplied by positive 3. Okay, that's positive 3 groups of negative 2, or 3 groups, 2 wholes, 6 wholes, negative 6. But what does negative 2 times negative 3 mean? How can you have negative 3 groups of 2 wholes? I know. I'll investigate the number patterns in a multiplication table. Come on, I'll show you what I mean. A multiplication table. Remember these from elementary school? This one's pretty small. 1 times 1 is 1. 2 times 1 is 2. 3 times 1 is 3. First row done. Let's fill it all in. Now, let's include 0. 0 times any number is 0. Okay, these are all positive integers, so let's put their signs in. The next step is to expand the table into the negative zone. How do we fill in this new part? Let's see. I'll look at the top row first. Now look carefully at this number pattern. Positive 3, positive 2, positive 1, 0. What comes next? Right. Negative 1, negative 2, negative 3. Let's try that with the next row. Look at the pattern this time. Positive 6, positive 4, positive 2, 0. So the next number is negative 2, then negative 4, negative 6. And here's the pattern for the last row. So using the table, negative 3 multiplied by positive 2 is negative 6. And it's easy to see that negative 2 multiplied by positive 3 is negative 6 as well. Another one. Negative 2 multiplied by positive 1 is negative 2, which is the same result as negative 1 multiplied by positive 2. Cool! From these results, I can say that a negative integer and a positive integer multiplied together give a negative result. But what about multiplying two negative integers together? Time to expand the table again. I know this column is all 0. Now let's look at number patterns again. First this column. Positive 9, positive 6, positive 3, 0. Keep going. Negative 3, negative 6, negative 9. Just as I predicted. And the next row? positive 6, positive 4, positive 2, 0. Into the negative zone, negative 2, negative 4, negative 6. Here's the last row. So these two sections, where a negative and a positive integer are multiplied together, the result is a negative integer. Negative zones. There's only this part left to fill in, where negative integers are multiplying negative integers. Do this column first. Negative 3, negative 2, negative 1, 0. Hey, we're going positive. Positive 1, positive 2, positive 3. Next column. Negative 6, negative 4, negative 2, 0. And here we go. Positive 2, positive 4, positive 6. And here's the last column. The table's complete. From these results, we can say that a negative integer multiplied by a negative integer gives a positive result. Look at where the positive zones are. 1 is where a positive integer multiplies a positive integer. Well, you'd expect that. And 1 is where a negative integer multiplies a negative integer. I'm going to do a few quick multiplications using the table. Then you can do some on your own. Negative 2 times negative 3 is positive 6. A negative times a negative is a positive answer. Now negative 1 multiplied by positive 3, that's negative 3. A positive times a negative is a negative answer. Last one. Positive 2 times negative 2 is negative 4. A positive integer multiplied by a negative integer is a negative result. So positive 3 times negative 3 is negative 9. And it doesn't matter which order the integers come in a multiplication calculation, you still get the same answer. A negative integer times a positive integer gives a negative result. Of course, a positive integer times another positive integer will be a positive answer. But the big surprise is that a negative integer times another negative integer comes out positive. Time for you to practice. Don't forget to put a positive or negative sign in each answer, even if it's positive. Here are the answers. This project on integers is just about finished, but there's one more kind of calculation still to do. Do you know what it is? That's right, division. Division is the opposite operation to multiplying. Look at this. We'll forget about positive and negative for a minute. Here's 6 oranges. Now think about what 6 divided by 2 means. It says make 6 into 2 equal lots, which means we have 3 oranges in each lot. So 6 divided by 2 is 3. If we reverse the operation, 2 lots of 3 oranges make 6 oranges. We're back to where we started. In fact, we can even write a division calculation as a multiplication. I'll show you. 6 oranges divided by 2 is the same as 6 times a half. 6 half oranges, which is 3 whole oranges. Dividing by a number is the same as multiplying by 1 over the number. So the rules for dividing integers must be the same as for multiplying integers. positive 6 divided by positive 2 is positive 3. And if just one of the integers is negative, the answer is negative. But if both of the integers are negative, the result is a positive integer. Hey, you try some. Here are the answers. We've come to the end of our investigation into integers. I hope you've enjoyed it. I love oranges. I think that was a negative orange. Nah, just kidding. But remember, when you're working with integers, watch out for the negative zone.